Welcome back everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make some smoked pulled beef using a brisket. Now to get started, we want to choose a knife. So we're going to undo our knife roll and select a knife. Now these three knives, they're my slicers. I like to use this one for veggie chopping. This one here is my trimmer. Nice, lightweight, super sharp. We're going to use that to trim our brisket. And here we have our brisket. This is a nice little piece from the point end. This is just a cheap supermarket brisket. This one actually doesn't need too much trimming at all. All I'm going to do is just tidy up this thin end here, get rid of a little bit of silver skin just there, and a little bit here. As it's a supermarket brisket, I want to leave a nice coverage of fat on. I'm not even going to trim that. That fat's going to give it some nice flavour and it's going to help keep it nice and juicy as well. And this right here is a great cut to begin with if you're starting off your barbecue journey. This is about 1.3 kilos, only cost about 20 bucks, so it's not going to break the bank. And you could stretch that out to feed a family of 5 or 6 if you want to put it in something like burgers or tacos or anything else that you've got on your mind. Now it's time to season our little brisket. You can use a combination of salt, pepper, garlic, but today we're going to be using my beef bounce rub. So we're just going to give this a nice, generous and even coat all over. Make sure you press that rub in. Get all those edges. And then just mop up any seasoning that you've left on the cutting board. And that is now ready to go, so we can start on setting this smoker up. All right, so we're going to use our drum smoker. So I'll start by opening the lid, taking our cooking grate off, take our heat deflector out and fill our charcoal basket up with either lumped charcoal or briquettes. And now we can bury a fire lighter in there and light it up. And now we've got about 10 to 15 minutes before those briquettes will catch light properly, so we'll come back once they're ready. All right, and after about 10 minutes, our briquettes are burning nicely. And now we'll shut our lid, open up both of our vents, and we'll start bringing this smoker up to temperature. So we're going to bring our smoker up to about 120 Celsius or 250 Fahrenheit. While that's happening, we're going to go through some smoking wood I like for beef, starting with cherry. Honestly, one of the best all-rounders you can get, and I absolutely love it with beef. Then we've got some bourbon barrel oak, another amazing pairing with beef. We've got some ironbark, another classic. And two of my other favorites are pecan and black wattle. But today, I'm going to use a chunk of bourbon barrel and a chunk of cherry. But as always, if you've got another favorite for beef, go ahead and use that. All right, and now our smoke is at temperature. I'm going to shut our intake vent down a little bit. I'm going to open our lid. I'm going to get one of our wood chunks straight on where the fire's burning, and then our other chunk just off to the side. Then we can get our heat deflector back in, and then our cooking grate, and then our little brisket. Now we can shut our lid and let this start smoking away. All right, so now our brisket's on, we don't really have to do much else. We just need to maintain a nice, clean, steady burning fire. Like I mentioned, we're going to hold this one at around the 250 Fahrenheit or 120 Celsius range. So on the drum, if I need to increase temperature, I'll just open up that intake vent a little bit. If I need to decrease, then I'll shut it down a little bit. And if you don't have a drum smoker, but you've got something like a Weber kettle, an offset smoker, a Kamado, or any other type of smoker, have a browse of my channel as I've got lots of different setup videos for a variety of different smokers. So for now, there's not much else for me to do, so we'll check back in once this brisket's had a few hours in the smoker. All right, so our little brisket has been going for around 2.5 hours now. This is looking amazing. As you can see, that rub has set nicely. None of it's coming off on my finger, so I reckon we can wrap this up. So we'll get 2 sheets of foil ready. Got some beef stock ready, a few tablespoons worth of butter. I'll just put down on the base of the foil. Then we'll put our brisket down. Then we'll wrap it up just enough so I can get this beef stock in. Pour this beef stock in now. That's around a cup worth. And then I've just got a foil tray as well, just in case our foil splits. Now we'll finish wrapping it up nice and tight. And now we'll get it back in the smoker. All right, so now our brisket's back in the smoker. We're going to take it until it's probing super tender around the 205 Fahrenheit or 96 degrees Celsius internal mark. So if you've got a meat probe, feel free to put one in now. I reckon this is going to take another 2 to 3 hours, but as always, you can't put a time on these things. We're going to be focusing on probe tenderness. So if you need this done at a certain time, it's always a good idea to get it on earlier than you think. Then if it's done early, you can always rest it longer until you're ready to serve it. So I'm going to let this little brisket go now and we'll check back in once we're a bit further into this cook. All right, our brisket has been wrapped up for just over 2 hours now. I reckon it's just about ready. So let's have a good check of the internal temperature and probe around. Oh, that is super soft. And right in that thickest part there, it's about 210 Fahrenheit or 99-ish Celsius. I'm happy with how that's probing, so we can get this out. All right, and now I'm just going to leave that out unwrapped for 5 minutes or so, just to stop that cooking process. Then I'll wrap it back up to rest it, and then we'll come back to pull it apart. All right, now before we pull apart this brisket, I'm just going to change the setup of our smoker. So I'm going to take our cooking grate and heat deflector out. I'm just going to remove our charcoal basket for a moment. Then we'll put our heat deflector back in, upside down. Then we'll put our charcoal basket on top, and then our cooking grate can go back in. And now I just want to get a fry pan on to heat up. All right, now while our pan's heating up, we're just going to slice one large green jalapeno. If you don't like it spicy, you can take the seeds out. Then we're also just thinly slicing one brown onion. Now we'll add a little bit of oil, and then our jalapenos and onions, we'll just cook them down for about 5 minutes. All right, and into that, I'm just going to add the juice of one lime. Give that a good mix, and then around a tablespoon of soy sauce. Then we'll let those cook away for a few minutes and they'll be done. All right, so that can come off now. All right, and now it's time to pull this apart. You can see how juicy that is. Got some decent bark on there. Nice and tender. Pretty good for a cheap supermarket brisket. All right, now I'll show you what I'm going to do. So we're going to get a good amount of that pulled beef on there. Then we're going to pour on some of my Hookshot whiskey jalapeno barbecue sauce. And then we'll top it off with that beautiful jalapeno and onion mix. And we'll put the top bun on and have a try. That's so good. So there you have it. There's how to make smoked pulled beef brisket and how to make a tasty sandwich out of it too. Is it the best pulled beef I've ever had? Absolutely not. Was it still good? Absolutely. Like I said, that was a cheap brisket and a great way for a beginner to start their barbecue journey. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. But for now, that's the end of the video. So thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.